All right, back on. Back up in here again. Already got Robert Henry in the building. Marcus Bell, what's going on? All right, just making sure everything is straight. Making sure things are straight here. And, gonna do some MMA conversation here. And I'll probably talk for maybe like half an hour or something like that. Then if y'all want to link, we can kind of talk about some of these uh, different topics I got today. I still want to know some of y'all thoughts on Wmma Macfarlane moving forward. And of course, fight night Saturday, Taylor Santos and Jillian Robertson. Then we got Sajara Eubanks versus Pandy Kianzad. So we can talk about all of that, man. So I give y'all my thoughts for maybe like 20 minutes, and then if y'all want to link, we can talk. Cedric C, what's going on, man? So we get started in like 2 or 3 minutes. I know Marcus, you and Robert got a chance to see the interview. Cedric, did you get a chance to see Josette Cotton? I dropped the interview earlier because she has a fight coming up December 17th with Kayla Harrison. Hang on for 1 second. Yeah, got that rematch going down December 17th. Kayla Harrison and Josette Cotton. It's going to be an interesting fight, man. Because I don't know, man. I went back and watched that Kayla Harrison and Josette fight, and I thought that stoppage was kind of fast. I thought it was a little premature. That's why I asked her about that. I don't understand. Like it was like a quick stoppage, Because I say maybe like 1 or 2 shots were like glancing blows whenever Josette was down, and then all of a sudden the referee he just jumped in and stopped it, and I was like, oh, she didn't look that hurt. I mean, I seen some fights where dudes they get hit for like 12, 13 strikes before the referee stops it. Stamina in the building. Yeah, Cedric. I think it's a main event on the I think it's the main event on that Titan FC card. It's supposed to be on UFC Fight Pass. I think. I'm gonna double check here and make sure though. Ernest Richardson, what's going on? There we go. Okay. Said you said, how can Kayla bounce from PFL to Invicta to Titan? I didn't know you could do that. Hey, she can. I mean, there's a little flexibility in her contract, because she was about to sue PFL for like unpaid wages, and since they weren't putting on any events, she tried to sue them. So I'm sure they tried to work out something where she can go from Titan, Invicta, and she can go to those different organizations. Because with that, she can go to these other organizations to make some money, I guess, so they won't say anything, or she won't try to sue them right now. I don't know if there's any limits on like it being Bellator though. I mean, there probably is with the UFC, of course, because UFC's not going to do the UFC is not going to let you do like a one fight deal. But yeah, so like I said, I just want to talk a little bit more on Wmma Macfarlane a little bit here for about 10 or 15 minutes, and then I want to maybe open up the links to y'all if y'all want to come on. I want to know your thoughts on Wmma, and of course, we go ahead and get your picks in for Jillian Robertson and Taylor Santos and Sajara Eubanks and Pandy Kianzad. Okay, that thing is good. Yeah, so Wmma Macfarlane, after looking at that interview again with her post fight, her post fight interview after her loss to Juliana Velasquez, it didn't really sound like somebody that really wants to come back to the octagon like right away. Maybe a fighter like her needs to take a break. If y'all still haven't seen the fight, just for anybody coming in, Macfarlane, she lost a unanimous decision to Juliana Velasquez. In my opinion, I had it like 4-1. It wasn't like to me, it wasn't like a dominant performance by Juliana Velasquez. I feel like Juliana kind of stepped on the break a little bit. She didn't go all out and make a real big statement. I mean, she did enough to win the fight. She wasn't really trying to go in there, to me, it seemed like, and really destroy the champion. So Macfarlane on that note, for Macfarlane, I feel like if she still wanted to return to the octagon, it maybe should have been just more of a learning experience for her. If she was still feeling like, hey, I just need to grow as a fighter. But she seems to be more relieved now that she doesn't have the belt anymore. Now that she's, in this mindset of being relieved, like it's no pressure, kind of makes you question, like, is she going to come back to the octagon? Like, does she still want to fight? I mean, what do y'all think? Does that sound like somebody that still wants to fight? Somebody that says, hey, I'm glad this happened. Because I talked a little bit about it yesterday. I feel like Macfarlane, if she wanted to really just learn, hey, she would just say, okay, let me go back to the drawing board, work on some things, and I'll call out Juliana again for a rematch. That would seem like the more logical thing if she wanted to return to the octagon again. It was kind of similar to how Rose, whenever she lost the belt to Jessica Andrade, she was kind of like, I'm not feeling it anymore. I don't really want to. I'm not sure if this is still something I want to do. Ernest Richardson said, did you see Bellator signing that BWFW that fought that morbidly obese dude in Russia? No, I didn't see that. I saw Bruna Ellen get re-signed, though. I know Bruna Ellen got re-signed. She was signing her contract on Instagram. I don't know who that is. What's that guy's name? find out his name. I want to see who that is though. But yeah, moving forward for Wmma Macfarlane, hopefully, I just feel like if she really wants to make some changes as a flyweight contender now, not a champion, but as a flyweight contender, hopefully she goes back to the drawing board and just kind of realizes some of the different things that she needs to add to her arsenal, some of the different things that she needs to work on, because it didn't really sound like somebody that wanted to make those improvements yet. But I think the more she takes time out and just thinks about it, maybe if she goes back and looks at the tape and says, oh man, I didn't get beat that bad, maybe it's just a few things I need to work on. Maybe she'll kind of rethink the way she has been thinking, that mind frame, and just I can go back to the drawing board and rework it. But when you think about it, man, like I know she was able to be dominant even for 4 title defenses and beat some of these other flyweights. But if the game has stepped up, and if the game is like evolving the way it is, like you've seen like some of these fighters in the past, like let's say if Miesha Tate want to come back, you see how the game evolved from 4 years ago, 2016 to 2020. I mean, Wmma Macfarlane should see how front and center it's been evolving, because since she's had the belt just for 4 title defenses, the competition has stepped up big time. If it wasn't Juliana Velasquez, it would have been Denise Kielholtz. And I think between both of those fighters, somebody would have won that belt. I was already thinking that before, this title fight took place Thursday. I felt like both of these fighters had something to crack Wmma Macfarlane. It wasn't like Wmma was really doing some dominant work in there and had this tough code to crack in there, as far as some of the opponents she was facing. It wasn't like, oh man, like this girl's that talented or that difficult, or she's that difficult to get to the ground, or she's that powerful. There was never really like a category that stood out with Wmma. I'm just being honest. There was never nothing that really stood out. She was well-rounded enough just to handle those contenders that she was fighting. So now, as soon as the bar steps up here with Juliana and Denise, that means, yeah, before she comes back to the octagon, man, she got a lot of work to do. On the striking, I think there's a lot of strength training needs to be involved. A little bit of everything, yeah, like just even technique and like physical, and her, physical strength, because she could never really get in there into the clinch against Juliana Velasquez. She could never really get in there and use size or make size a factor. Wmma knows she needs lots of work if she's gonna fight in the top tier. Yeah. Macfarlane has a very questionable resume as far as quality competition, in my honest opinion. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, the competition on there that she was beating was just because of her tools, were just enough to look dominant against that caliber and that tier of opponents. You know what I mean? Like, even I feel like the UFC, the flyweight division is still developing in some ways, but I think there's still like a way you can like break down the categories where you could say this person could beat this tier and this person could beat that tier, or they may not be able to handle the top 5 or something. But it was always kind of questionable outside of Denise and Juliana. The rest of the contenders, it was always just like 50-50. Like I could never say Kate Jackson was going to just walk through Evita Arteaga, or Evita Arteaga was going to walk through Bruna Ellen. All of them names, it was just kind of like a mixed up pool. Nobody really was just like one standout. I could never really break it down. TJ said that rising of the bar is a problem for Wmma, just like it was with Rousey. Yeah, like the minute you start having fighters coming over to the Bellator that are damn near complete, even more so than you are, and they're comfortable with utilizing so many tools and just making adjustments on the fly, you're in trouble. Because I say, even like with Ronda Rousey, let's say if she still was a champion up to like 2017 or 2018, she would have ran into problems with fighters like Valentina right away. If she would have got past Holly, she would have ran into a problem in Valentina, because Valentina, even Amanda Nunes, let's say she got past Holly and had to defend against Valentina or Amanda Nunes next, eventually it would have been down to them two that would have beat her, because, and I say 100%, either one of them could have beat her, because they're both so well-rounded, so much more well-rounded than she is, and they'll adjust on the fly. Like if Ronda comes running at you with the same old thing, you think Valentina's just going to stand in front of her or just feel intimidated and just let her take her down the arm bar? No, she's going to break her down, systematically just break her down. And I think that when you bring in fighters, like I said, a fighter like Juliana, who's black belt in judo, has BJJ skills, solid IQ, that doesn't just come in there and dominate off of power. She thinks on the fly. She's committed to her kickboxing, her Thai style. You're going to have trouble with that fighter. Big, strong, long fighter. Then you got Denise Kielholtz, who's also a kickboxing champion, black belt in judo also. Very, very physically strong in the clinch as well. And when she gets you to the ground, she's open for those submit. She's not open. She's slippery. If you're open for a submission, she'll take you out. So between those two fighters, whatever Wmma is going to bring to the table, they're going to say, oh, this is easy. They're not going to say it like out loud, like nobody's going to actually say it, but you'll see them in there actually just adjusting to whatever she does. Like Denise Kielholtz, same thing. She comes forward, stays in the pocket, never on the back foot. As soon as Wmma steps in the range, boom, she's going to let that right hand go. Or if you try to back her up, she's firing combinations, backing up. That's one thing I noticed about Denise. She's firing the left or right, and she has power in both hands. So one of them runs in there. She runs in there with the clinch. She's going to toss you. She's going to judo toss you. So it's just like that now. It's just, it's that quick. And I think Wmma was a little too comfortable because the bar was never raised, And I think her mindset never had to face pain. It never had to face bleeding, because she made that known that she's never had a cut nose, a cut brow, or never busted up. So her mindset has never been bruised. Her ego's never been bruised before. So now that the competition has stepped up, it's like, okay, you can either go hard or go home. And right now, I think she's kind of on that path of going home. Hopefully she doesn't. I don't want to see anybody quit, especially to the work you put in. So I think she's more so looking at that, that path home right now. She's saying that looks inviting right now. I got the family, the money, husband and everything now. So I'm looking at that path. Do I want to go back to hell and try to, compete with these ladies? That's something that you got to understand about these fighters. You got to see that's how they look at it. Colton's, what you say? I hate the circle cage. TJ said, I got people mad because I said Bellator 125 was weak compared to UFC. I mean, just an honest opinion, man. I mean, that's just honest observation. I mean, like I said, even the unranked fighters, or even the UFC fighters from the rankings from 10 to 15, you can kind of set a bar for them and say, I think they could do this. But the Bellator flyweights, I like them, but it's just too 50-50. Like, I don't know. I can't really see one stand out with them outside of Denise and Juliana. And even Alima Lay. I mean, like, she did beat those other girls, but so Alima Lay is actually number 3 right now to me in there. If I was going to make a ranking, it would be Juliana, Denise, and then Alima Lay. So she did beat those other girls. But then when you get into the other realms of those other names, like I said, I can't really, I just really can't rank them. He said WMMA 2.0 is the standard now. Elevate or evacuate. Yeah, man. Ronda versus Pena would have been a fun grudge match. Yeah, that would have been an interesting physical fight. Ronda would have beat Juliana Pena easy. That's what Colton said. Yeah, I think it comes down to that toss, boy. If you don't get Ronda out of there, she's gonna get you out of there. Robert Henry, what's going on, man? Salute. TJ said, I see Bellator flyweight as mostly people not good enough for the UFC. Yeah, still a lot of fighters in there that need to develop, or if they have peak, they'll probably just ride out Bellator. I think Invicta, some of their flyweights, man, now that I think about it, like some of their flyweights, like Aaron Blanchfield, boy, like, yeah, Aaron Blanchfield, if y'all still haven't seen her in the Invicta flyweight division, she's showing like development. You know, she's developing with each fight. I think Aaron Blanchfield would give a lot of the Bellator flyweight some trouble. Now, I don't know if she would beat Kielholtz or Juliana Velasquez, but I think she would definitely excel and maybe even upset. Maybe could even upset Alima Lay if she was the belt holder at the time. TJ said Bellator is kind of on par. Bellator is kind of on par with Invicta. Yeah, but yeah, like I was saying, Invicta though, you know, they got a couple standouts though. Ernest Richardson said Velasquez reminds me of Poliana, all muscled up with a slightly bigger gas tank. No, I think she got a better. Skill set. Definitely got a better skill set. I think she's more committed. She's more committed to her punches, committed to her letting her hands go, and if it goes to the ground, you know, she doesn't seem as lost. That's just my opinion. Yeah, I think Poliana, you know, she's decent, but still got a lot of holes in her game. But yeah, I guess I see what you're saying there. It's like a better version of her. Yeah, but yeah, if anybody wanted to come on, if they just want to give me their thoughts on Alima Lay Macfarlane moving forward, you know, I'll gladly post a link right here if you want to come into the chat. Then y'all can give me y'all's takes on these flyweight and bantamweight fights this weekend too. Okay, just fixing something here. This connection for if anybody wants to come in for a link, I'll do that. Okay. There you go, Sam. And Yeah, there you go. All right. Yeah, that's what I was doing. If y'all were wondering, that's what I was saying. I was just setting that link up for y'all if y'all want to come in. But let's see, Dana. That was Dana's decision, but don't forget, he also looked at Carano. Oh, Colton, you were saying that's the reason why Ronda's the reason why women are in the UFC. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's true. I mean, I agree with that. I mean, because at first he didn't want any women in the UFC, and then when he saw, everybody was going crazy about it, fans were going crazy about it, he had to bring her over. Yeah, that would be interesting if we got Carano instead of Rousey. It would have been I think it would have been a whole different ball game. You don't think Carano could have carried it the way Ronda did? Yeah. I don't know. I think she would have had a different approach. It depends. I can't really say. And got somebody in the building here. Hold on one second. All right. And I got, let's see. Let me turn it up a little bit so y'all can hear him. Got Cedric C in the building. What's going on, Cedric?
What's up, brother?
Oh, just chilling, man. Thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, no problem. I didn't know it was that easy.
Yeah.
To come on.
Oh yeah, it's a lot easier than that Google Hangout, man, with this StreamYard. But yeah, I got Cedric C here, man, on this part of the show. And yeah, man, some of the topics I was just talking about, starting with Wmma Macfarlane, where do you see her moving forward from here, like off of what you've seen?
I think she got to get her mindset right before she step in that cage. I think that's her main issue, and then I think she need to work on her not ground game, her stand up, because she's kind of one dimensional. She just worked on her ground game, and that's it. She count on that. You got to have a plan B when you're going in there fighting. You can't just do one thing. Become more versatile.
Yeah, I agree with that, man. Yeah, she definitely got to be a fighter to grow. Like, have you seen Denise Kielholtz? Have you seen a lot of her fights or a lot of Juliana's fights?
I saw Denise most recent one, but I forgot what happened. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Oh, okay. I mean, a lot of her.
I don't know where her skill set is. If you can inform me on that.
Yeah, her skill set. She's a kickboxing champion. She was Bellator kickboxing champion, and when she came over here, she's still been kind of like applying it the same way, but she also adds in that judo. I mean, the girl got power in both hands, and the majority of her fights end in like the first round. Like if you go back and look, I think maybe she had like a second round, third round stoppage, but she's been knocking a lot of these girls out and submitting them.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I might have checked her out.
Yeah, you can find like maybe 3 or 4 of her fights on YouTube. If you look up Denise Kielholtz, shoot, yeah, she's on point. She's the truth.
That's the thing with Bellator. They take a lot of their free fights off the app, and then some of them I got to hunt for on YouTube. So it's like they don't really have like a thing like UFC Fight Pass or anything yet, because I guess they don't have it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to like catch up on, who I want to watch or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Because I know I heard of Janae Harding. I don't know if she's good or not.
Janae Harding, she's okay. Like, she's a featherweight. I think she still is in development. I think that there's some things about her that she still needs to improve on, especially when you're talking about fighting like a Julia Budd or somebody like Cyborg. I think.
Oh, they in the same class.
Yeah, they in the same division.
She kind of lean and tall. When I looked at her body frame, like she don't really look like a fighter. No disrespect.
Mm-hmm.
But like I don't know, I don't see no muscle usually these fighters got muscle in their body. She just looked like a track star or something.
All right,
I don't
got
know.
you.
I don't know if she throw a lot of kicks, or I don't know, if that is her game plan.
She's a striker. Yeah, she kind of more so a striker. I mean, she could go on the inside a little bit and grind, but yeah, she throws hands.
She remind me of like a Megan Anderson like body frame.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I was talking about last night. The post fight, some of the things that Ali Malay was saying, as far as just feeling it was a relief to not have the belt anymore. And, it was like a relief of like no pressure. Finally
Mhm.
just feeling like what it felt like to lose. Does that sound like somebody that wants to come back to you, or do you feel like they sound like they want a rematch?
See, I think she got to find what she fighting for, and I think when she didn't mention her getting the belt back, that was a big sign to me that she's not ready right now. And she said that she didn't want to go through 5 round camps. That was another vital point that she made, and she was like, "Oh, it's a relief." I was like, "Wow!" Like it's a lot of people trying to be a champion, and you saying it's a relief and it's a lot of pressure. Like you only was champion for what since the end of 2018, right?
Yeah, it was for like, yeah, 4 title defenses. Yeah.
Yeah, she only fights one time a year, so that's not. I mean, you see these girls in during this COVID time. I mean, you got Eubanks in there, you got Robertson in there. They're just always in the cage. So it's like I feel like she got a lot of excuses, man. Like you gotta step it up. This your job. This your legacy.
Yeah, I think that was a good point. Even that TJ brought up in the chat was the fact that a lot of the flyweights in Bellator, they're really not up to the par of like the UFC's fighters, because it just seems like they're more
Man,
active.
I disagree with that. I think they're way better. Like one championship, Invicta, Bellator. I think they're way better than UFC women fighters.
You think so?
Yeah, because whenever I watch the fights, it's like more action packed. It's more going on, and they just seem hungrier, in my opinion. The
Hmm.
UFC fighters, they kind of just hold them on the cage and just trying to get by, and it's like, man, y'all gotta y'all gotta do something, man.
I think that comes down to the skill set, man. Like when you're talking about sometimes when fighters are more so action,
Mm,
it's because they know that's all they know. Like some fighters are just gonna come straight out because they are less skilled. They're gonna make the fight exciting, which benefits the fans. But some of the ones in like the UFC in the flyweight division, I definitely feel like they surpass a lot of the Bellator fighters. I mean, sometimes when you see a fighter turn into a fight turn into a boring fight, it's because the higher the skill set, they don't want to take the chance. You know what I mean? They don't want to give the other person the chance. It's like it's a game of chess then.
that makes sense. It's like a football game, a boring defensive football game. That's a more competitive game than them scoring. That defense ain't that good. They just keep scoring.
Right, right. Like if you go back and look at Valentina versus Amanda Nunes, man, both of them fights, like I don't know why people want to see a third fight. Like shout out to both of them, but like
You
on
ain't
the
lying.
yeah, on a level of like skill set, man, they're two of the best. But like other than that, like if you're looking for action, don't watch that fight. Don't get mad when you see that fight. You see a boring fight. But when you go to something like, uh, let's say, go back to Bellator and their flyweight division, you see like Vita Arteaga
Uh huh.
versus Bruna
Who was
Ellen.
that?
She's a flyweight in the Bellator flyweight division. You gotta go back and look at her. She's a real scrappy fighter.
Uh
That
huh.
she comes out there and puts on action fights. If you're not on your game, she will sleep you. Like she's beatable, but she'll sleep you. So when you put her in there with one of the girls like Kate Jackson, it's gonna be more action. It
What's
will
her
be.
name?
Vita Arteaga.
Vita RTI.
Oh, hold on. Colton said, "Who am I chatting with?" That's Cedric C. You see him in the chat.
What's going on?
Hold on. What Colton say? Um, they hold each other against the cage because they neutralize each other. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like whenever two fighters are boring like that, they trying to
I
neutralize.
can't stand that. I literally can't stand that. But like going back to what you said about the chess game, I mean, any John Jones fight is tremendously boring to me because of the way he fights.
Mm-hmm.
Or, you know, a Mayweather fight. So I definitely get what you're saying.
Yeah, because Usman is a boring fighter to a lot of people. Like a lot of people felt like the Usman and Masvidal fight was boring, but I
like Usman, man. I ain't gonna lie, because I feel like that's his style. Like, and he can do more than just Khabib, in my opinion. I feel like Khabib, that's all he does. I mean, Usman was throwing elbows. He was had the foot stomps. He was doing more than just holding them. So, but I mean, I get what people saying. It's kind of like boring to them. They wanted a knockout. But that's the thing. The game has changed since like the early 2000s. We had like a lot more knockouts in the UFC compared to now.
Yeah. What do you think about that? Like Wmma Macfarlane, like, I mean, you know, she was champion just like 2-3 years ago, and you know she needs to like evolve. Like, off of what you've seen that in that fight, what would you say she needs to evolve in moving forward from here?
And I swear, like, I think that, you know, just that little that she did, it showed me that she has it in her. Like, I don't think Velasquez was that skilled. I feel like she kind of was just like waiting too much, and but I mean, I feel like Wmma had it in her. She just didn't do enough. So like when y'all were saying that, you know, she lost, I can see what y'all saying now. I just feel like she didn't do enough, and next time, like I said, it's her mindset. Her mindset got to change, and she got to find out what she's fighting for. I get she had the Hawaiian people thing, but I don't know if it's more of a gimmick or is she really trying to get the Hawaiian people on her shoulders and carry them. You know, is she really trying to represent her culture that way, or is she just kind of looking at it like, because I follow all these fighters, right? And like she just like, oh, thank you for the gifts and thank you for the support. It's kind of like she's acting very nonchalant in her loss. It's kind of like, oh, this ain't no big deal. Like, no, it is a big deal.
Right, yeah. It's a big deal, like, especially like you said, a lot of your people, they were riding with you on that. That's why I say a lot of fighters, when they say it's like a relief of pressure, I mean, like, in the beginning, you got to go in there and just do it for you. You just can't go in there and say, I got to carry everybody on my back. Just do it for you, because it is an individual sport too. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I think that's why whenever she lost it, she was like, well, I can take this pressure off. Everybody gonna stop hounding me. Everybody gonna stop asking me when I'm gonna fight so and so. Now that they got the belt, they can start looking at them. So, I mean, holding the belt is tough. I talked to some other fighters before, you know, that won these belts, and they say, man, like, defending the belt's harder than winning the belt.
The thing about it is the fans can tell when you're really trying and you're not, because I was really excited for that fight, even more than UFC 256 and the Anthony Joshua fight. I thought I was gonna get a good fight. I saw both the girls were undefeated. I didn't know too much about them. I watched a few of Wmma's, and I was very disappointed in both of their performances. You know, this is the main event of a Bellator card. And like I said the other day, they don't really put women as the main event. And it's like
only women's fight. It was only women's fight on the card too, which was crazy.
Yeah, like y'all are making them not want to do it again. But by the performance. They had 5 rounds, and it's just like I kind of got bored, man. I just was zoning out.
I mean, yeah, I could see that, because I'm not gonna lie, like Juliana, I feel like she does have that skill. She is got high skill for a lot of the flyweights there. But with that being said, I think Juliana needed to take more chances in this fight. If you know a fight is not a big threat to you, like Alima Lay wasn't a big threat in the early on, she could have got her out of there. I mean, she could have got her out of there. Like she could have like literally probably stopped Alima Lay Macfarlane like the second or third round. She just took her foot off the gas for what reason I don't know.
So what is Juliana usually good in?
Juliana is.
How did she even get a title shot in the first place?
I mean, if you go back and look at her fights, her striking is on point. I mean, if you go back and look at some of these contenders that she got out of there, like she dominates. You know, I can't really say like Alima Lay was better than them because she had the same openings that some of these other girls had, and Juliana just jumped on it there those past few times. You know, she was just in there. Like any girl that would come straight at her, she would like pop them, counter them, and knock them back. I thought she would have kind of did the same thing in this fight.
So is that why the betting odds were in Juliana's favor?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cause I was surprised at that. I was like, they voting against a champion.
Yeah, everybody.
But were the contenders? My question is, are the contenders of Bellator even that skilled? Because I can tell like right off the bat, like who is the favorite when it comes to Bellator.
Mm-hmm.
So like for her to just be running through those opponents, were they even that easy? Like did Juliana have a hard test before this fight?
I don't think she had like a tough test like these UFC fighters do. That's why I was saying like the UFC is better. It's still better because they got different levels to it. Like Juliana, she was beating the same level of fighters that Alima Lay was beating, but she was doing it in almost better fashion. That's why everybody right away said, okay, the betting odds is on her. You know, everybody could just say that Juliana is going to beat Alima based off of how she beat some of the same people she beat, or just by being more so dominant. Because you can't really do that in the UFC. Like I could say I picked Caitlin Kagan to beat Jessica Andrade. I thought she had the skill to beat her, but you saw what Jessica Andrade did. Did you see that fight?
I did too. I thought Caitlin was going to win too.
Yeah, so when you look at the UFC, they have different levels there. Like Jessica I versus JoJo, that fight in January. I don't know. I'm a fan of JoJo, but I don't know how that fight's going to go. But,
yeah, they both kind of iffy.
Yeah, those fights are like up in the air. Where when you start looking at somebody like Juliana, you automatically say, "Oh, yeah, Juliana gonna beat this girl." Juliana gonna beat this girl. But I think it's gonna kind of stop there because now you have Denise Kielholz. I think they got better competition now. But between these two fighters, they do.
That'll be a good fight if they make it soon, or you think they're gonna make her face someone else first?
I don't really see anybody out there for her. I mean, Denise, she just re-signed her contract like a couple weeks ago, and I think she's ready, man. I think she's ready to go. I think she's beating the names she needs to beat, and Juliana has too. So there's really no need to build it up, man. I mean,
what's Denise win streak like?
Let me see. I know she had one loss, and it was a close fight where she just got caught in a guillotine. Like she made one mistake and got in a guillotine against Vita Arteaga. But other than that, her win streak, I mean, she's been blowing girls out. Like her last fight, she stopped Kate Jackson. Let me see. Oh, she's on a 4-fight win streak since that loss. For 2 years, she's won 4 fights.
I think I've seen that girl Kate Jackson before.
Yeah, that was she's got 4 fights. She's won 4 fights in a row, and they're all finishes too.
Wow. Yeah, her last one. Who did she fight? I watched that one, but I forgot who she fought.
Oh, it was Kate Jackson.
Okay.
Yeah, that was her. She knocked Kate Jackson out in like 30 seconds, man.
Yeah, I was like, what? I don't even remember the fight, but I did remember she finished her.
Hold on, let me see here what we got. in the chat, Ernest Richards said we can't even know if I will make weight. Yeah, just guy like she iffy with that weight thing. Robert Henry said the fight wasn't exciting as I thought it would be, but it was a bad fight. I also think the fact that didn't get to see a lot of fights I wanted to see makes me want more out of fights if I do. Yeah, I agree, man. Like whenever fights in Bellator happen, since they happen so, spaced out, they better be a damn good show.
They did wait about 2 or 3 weeks for this one.
Yeah. And then like hold on one second. Oh yeah, BJ. I was talking to BJ here. I think he might come on in a minute. But what do you think of this flyweight fight between Jillian Robertson and Taylor Santos?
Oh, Jillian Robertson, that's my favorite right there. I think she's gonna come in there. I think she's gonna TKO her.
You think she can TKO her, man? Like,
yeah, man. Because I'm gonna tell you why. I think Jillian, she been looking for that finish, and she been looking for that standout performance. I mean, that's what I've been reading on her Instagram every time she won. She didn't seem like she was that happy, but this time I think she gonna dominate.
All right. See, I got the opposite, man. I'm going with Taylor Santos, but
what?
I'm going with Taylor Santos, man. I feel like she's more well-rounded here, man.
She don't even fight.
Look, you got to see her past.
When was her last fight?
Her last fight was just back in June when she beat.
That was a minute ago.
Hey, when was Jillian's last fight though?
She fought Pollyanna Botello.
Okay, yeah. TJ's asking a good question. What do you think? Do you mean TKO, like stop her with their hands, or do you mean like a submission win?
I think she's gonna get on the ground and ground and pound. I don't think she's gonna knock her down like standing up. That's what I think.
Okay. I mean, that seemed a little more logical because Jillian does let her hands go when you on the ground. She will let her hands go on the ground. I will give you that. But when she's standing, man, the stand-up game ain't on point at all, man. But I don't even see her getting Taylor to her back because Taylor is a solid grappler. People just don't understand. They haven't seen her fights outside of the UFC. I mean, she's only had 2 in the UFC, but before that, she's got.
Where did she fight before?
Let me see here. She's been in a.
It wasn't Invicta, was it?
Nah, she wasn't in Invicta. Cause she's had like 14 cancellations with the UFC. That's why a lot of people were like, "Man, are people ducking her?"
Yeah, every time her name come up, it does get canceled.
Yeah, XFC. I've seen XFC. That's a more of an organization like Invicta. But yeah, she's been fighting on like the lower organization, Aspera and XFC. And she's been on the Contender Series. She's won that fight.
Ain't she older though? Like.
No.
30s?
No, she's 27.
She got an older vibe to me. I don't know why. Like a Marion Renew.
No, she is I think that's just like her body type and her experience, which to me, I think her demeanor, that's really going to come into play because I know she's a mom and everything. So I think she's going to be that type of focused fighter in there that Jillian ain't never seen before. I'm just being honest, man. Like, if it goes to the ground, I think, Jillian might have some moments. But if Taylor chooses to stand with this one, man, it's going to be a wrap, man. She's going to have to do something more.
What do you think of Penny and Eubanks?
Penny and Eubanks, man?
I think I'm going to go with Penny.
You going with Penny on that one? I could see that. I was kind of thinking the same thing on that fight just because I think Penny throws in volume. She throws combinations. Sometimes I think Eubanks don't throw enough hands. I mean, she got a chin, but she got to let her hands go more.
Eubanks, she usually just like settle in the fight and don't really do much.
Mm-hmm.
and then she just hoped for a decision win. Like, I don't know. I think Eubanks gonna take a L. But I mean, last time she fought good against a way bigger opponent, Caitlin Vieira.
Oh yeah. Kayla Vieira, that was a big step up for her. I mean, literally that girl was a big girl too. So that was a big
And it
step
was short
up.
notice too.
Yeah, it was like what, a 2 week notice fight. Yeah.
But Eubanks, I think she got to find her like what she good in, because going to decision that ain't it all the time.
Right. I mean, she's a solid wrestler. She's a good grappler, but I think she got to start closing some shows. She got to put more pop on the right. What's going on, Genesis Green? Genesis Green in the chat. Yeah, I think she just got to really work on that overhand right that she be throwing, and she got to go in there to look. She got to look to finish fighters.
Yeah. Do you ever talk about like LFA and one championship, or like you don't keep up with those?
Yeah. It depends. Like Summer One, I haven't really been keeping up with, but LFA, I've been talking about a lot of the fighters from there, man. I've been talking about Loveth Young. Matter of fact, George Page, he did an interview with her. Who else? Sam Hughes, the girl that just fought Tisha Torres, she came from LFA.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Ernest Richardson said Kayla Vieira would have gotten stopped by Renault in the original fight. She was still shook after getting that Irene Aldana left hook. Yeah, that left hook was that thing was on point.
But look what happened when Aldana fought home. I mean, you just never know.
Yeah, styles make fights. Yeah.
Like, she literally just stood there. She didn't do anything. Yeah, but I think she got an injury with her toe or something.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, she had like an injury, so she was kind of dragging in that fight. But let me see. I'm gonna have Robert Henry come in here. Did you have any other closing thoughts on there, Cedric, man?
Okay. Something I want. Okay, so I wanted to ask you.
All right, so you got. You got Jillian.
What's the height? Oh, hello.
Yeah, so you got Jillian, and you said you got Panny, right? Okay.
Yeah, for sure. I got Panny by decision, Jillian by ground and pound.
Okay. All right, hold on. I got a couple people coming in here. And Robert Henry and Genesis. Got Genesis Green in the building. Robert Henry, what's going on? I'll let you finish your thought real quick, Cedric. What you gonna say?
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Y'all breaking up. I can't hear.
All right. What about now?
I hear you now.
All right.
What's the hype on Kay Hansen and Andrea Lee? I don't see the hype. Those my last two questions.
I mean, Andrea Lee, she's on the cusp of getting cut, in my opinion. I mean, she's not really cracked up to what she could have been. I mean, she had skill, but the minute she stepped in there with them fighters like Roxanne, who beat her twice, she couldn't get past Lauren Murphy or JoJo. She's on like a 3 or 4 fight losing streak right now. So she's not really somebody that I think Dana's really seeing as a big game in the flyweight division. But same with Kay Hansen. Kay Hansen, in my opinion, she wasn't developed. She wasn't developed for the UFC. She had already got beaten by some of these fighters in Invicta. Like Erin Blanchfield beat her, and Erin Blanchfield was way more talented. She should have been picked.
And what about Polyana Viana? Like, is she gonna get cut?
I ain't heard anything about her getting cut. I saw her in training. I don't think she has anything lined up at the moment. But
yeah, it's crazy. And I think they doing Lauren Murphy dirty though. Like, I think she need a title shot.
Man, she had opportunity. Shout out to BJ from No Filter MMA. He kind of like asked her that question. Why didn't she grab the title? That title eliminator. What could have been a title eliminator, but I don't know, man. It's a lot of things that need to be worked out with her, man.
Yeah, that's all I had though. I appreciate you letting me come on.
Yeah, man, for sure. Anytime you want to come back on, yeah, come on through, man.
All right, peace.
Later, man. Genesis Green, what's going on?
Hi.
How you doing?
What you doing?
I'm just chilling, talking to y'all about this. Just making some conversation with y'all.
Look, look like we on the phone. So what you doing?
What? Nothing, chilling.
Let it flow.
Oh, we got Robert Henry in there.
I
What?
don't think Lauren Murphy. Yeah, Lauren Murphy don't deserve no damn title shot.
No, no, like
She got to get past on George first, and that's not gonna happen. I'm sorry.
yeah. I mean, Valentina called it, and I agree with her. She said, "Make them two fight, then they can fight for my belt."
Uh-huh.
So, Genesis, something I was talking about tonight, Alima Lay Macfarlane. I just been asking everybody, what's their thoughts on this. Like, since she lost the belt, she's kind of been talking about it's been a relief. Pressure's gone. She feels like, oh, that it was a good thing that it happened. What are your thoughts on that?
You can tell she gave up. She wasn't even trying in the fight. She was just like, I'm just done. And you can tell that from the fight. I don't know where she goes from here. She might retire, who knows. But I think it is a lot of pressure and a lot is expected from you when you hold a title. But I don't know. I don't know where she goes from here.
Yeah, I mean, from the fighters she's been fighting and the competition that's coming up, it just don't really seem like she's evolving with it, and I think that's where she kind of, I think she kind of realized that. So, I mean, if she's not gonna evolve with it, maybe retirement is a thing. Like, what do you think, Robert?
I have to agree with Genesis Green that it seemed like she just wanted to be done, like for real. I mean, I'll put it like this: people have been talking about, and I'm gonna keep it real tonight. I mean, I'm the reality is that people may have been talking about. I've heard her name maybe over the last year or two, right? I've only been studying her fights maybe 4 or 5 months, and it's like, how do I see this loss coming? Like, I'm not a student of hers. I'm certainly not a fan of hers. I mean, that's not to take away from her talent level and her hard work, but it just seemed like the last few weeks leading up to this fight was a disaster. I mean, like, and this is one of my criticisms. This is just my thing. Everybody else ain't got to roll with it, but I personally cannot stand champions, sitting champions, allowing their competition to ever hold their belts and take pictures with them. I don't get it. I mean, if you want to do the thing that they do in the NFL or something like that, where after a game, if y'all friends, I mean, some old school guys don't agree with it, but I'm like, if the game is over and you want to take a picture or a hug and all that after the game is over, do your prayer. I mean, I got no problem with that, but if I have a championship and I'm representing that, regardless of how I might feel, how somebody else out there may feel about it, I don't agree with the idea that somebody should be holding my belt before. If they want to take a picture of me holding my belt, then that's fine. But like, what's the point? What are we selling here? Like, I'll give you an example of this. When Anthony Joshua let Andy Ruiz hold his belt and take pictures. I'm telling you, already know I'm going right there,
Yes,
right?
Yes.
And here's the thing: I don't agree with even the opposite. Whereas Amanda Nunes, after she beat the crap out of Felicia Spencer, like, I thought that was insulting. Like, you gonna let me hold your belt after you didn't beat me up for 5 rounds? Like, I couldn't have been Felicia. I'm like, you gonna have to finish me off, because I'm about to hit your side of the head with that belt. Go on and kill me. In my view, it's like you trying to either. Okay, put it this way: even if Amanda Nunes was trying to do good, which is she do stuff, a lot of backward stuff, and she ends up not. Hello. Anyway, somebody breaking up. Anyway, what happens is it ends up looking worse than what it was supposed to look. And honestly, I don't like that. So I don't like non-champions in a sport holding belts, and just to bring it home to this whole thing about how she was reacting. Because I already did a video on it, and I shared most of my thoughts on it, but it's not that I disagree with a lot of what she said, but I felt like as a professional, the way that she shared that, maybe at the end of the day, it's like, oh, well, at least I got it out there. I just don't think, it just don't look good. It doesn't look good you telling everybody that, not simply that it was hard to be a champion, but that you losing the title is better for you. I mean, are you about to retire? Are you saying that you accepted the fact that you're not going to be in the business anymore? Or you're getting ready to switch careers when your contract run out? Like, I don't really understand that. I mean, it's one thing to accept a loss. It's another thing to accept you're going to lose before you even take the fight. And, that's why it just looks real bad to me. So I'm not saying she's done, but she's doing a great job of making it look like she's done.
I agree, man. That was the thing that kind of got to me. Like, I understand when people say, oh man, I could have did this on that night, but I was off. I wasn't feeling it. The better man won. But she was more so like, this was a relief. This was a relief. I got to experience getting a busted nose, cut brow.
Like it was a completion of something. Yeah. Like even if let's say you're overwhelmed, right? Let's say you're going into a fight where, you know what, there's a good possibility, even though in all fights, but there's a good possibility that this person, the hungry, younger, whatever you want to call it, fighter, right? Mm-hmm. The more skilled, or put it this way, the matchup that I'm facing is so designed to potentially get me out of there. It's not funny. Mm-hmm. You still go in there with your head up, and you don't let your head dip too low. You still keep your head up because, you still you was the first champion of that division ever. I mean, you put it this way, you didn't end up, and I'm not trying to knock her as a person and too much as a champion, but you didn't end up like Nico Montana. You know what I'm saying? Like, you went in there, you fought, and you lost.
Right.
And it's just what it is. You don't have to beat yourself up too bad about it.
Yeah, and I mean, on top of that, it did go to decision. It wasn't like a total washout on it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I was kind of like going back to what I was saying, like, you said, okay, I got cut, check. I got my nose busted, check. It was almost like you wanted to fulfill that. But to me, like I said, people experience that in sparring and training. And then when they go into the fight, they say, okay, this is what I don't want to do that I did in sparring. I want to correct those mistakes, because it goes back to this, man. I was saying this yesterday. I don't know if you caught it. I said, it's one thing to expect the worst, but it's another to accept defeat.
Yeah.
Before you even get in there, you already said, okay, I'm probably gonna get turned out up in here. It's gonna be something totally different. You know what I mean? But it's one. If you say that, you go in there and say, okay, she might come at me with this, so I got to do this instead. Okay, that's the right mindset. But don't go ahead and say, well, I might be passing this belt off tonight, so got to go ahead and prepare. I never want to say. I want to hear a champion say that.
Right. I mean, Combo, let me say this real quick. You've seen a lot of fights. You've probably seen countless boxing matches, a nice amount of mixed martial arts and different types, Mm-hmm. And how many times have you, and even real out in the street type fights, like how many times have you seen people, they be in a fight and like they get tagged, or it looks like they're losing the fight, and then something happens and they figure something out in the process and they end up winning. Like, I've seen a lot of fights like that. I mean, to me, the greatest comeback that I can remember, at least, that I can think of in terms of coming back at that moment, there was a fighter, and they showed this one a lot. I don't remember the two people, two dudes, and dude caught him with a liver shot, right? Mm-hmm. And I mean, he caught him hard with it. And that's usually it's over. When they catch you with that, it's over. So dude was bent over, mm-hmm. and they both were spent. They were spending a lot of energy. So dude tried to run up and finish him, and he caught him with a hook and knocked him out. And then after he knocked him out, he fell on the ground, and he was wailing because he was in pain too. But mm-hmm. sometimes people get hit hard to the body and they don't quit.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know, man. I saw in the last few rounds that the fight was it was closing in a little bit. When I rewatched it, like Lima Lay may have been losing, but honestly, see, this is what I say that she's kind of not giving herself enough credit.
Right.
She didn't completely mentally give up. There was moments late in the fight where she was really trying to win the fight. Now, did she not go in there with the right mindset? That's a very good possibility. I'll give you a quick example. When Ronda fought who was it, Kanako? When she came in that fight, when Kanako took her down and started working on her, you could see that Ronda was frustrated. Even the stand-up, she was frustrated. But late in the fight, something clicked and she woke up and she was trying to win the fight. So to me, it's probably so deep, like the pre-fight stuff, that maybe she realized she didn't come in there like she should have, and maybe she would have made the fight legitimately closer. But even then, I felt that she gave a good account of herself overall, even if it wasn't the most entertaining, even if it wasn't the most skilled and strategic. I feel like she did a good job.
Yeah. In no way it was like, her just going in there getting washed out. That's why I said she shouldn't have ripped herself apart like that. Because even when I talked about my post-fight, I said that Alima Lay came on strong towards the end. I mean, it was a little too late, but she did come on strong. She act like she got into that gear at the last minute. And I think that was kind of maybe after she kind of faced the fear of what Juliana brought to the table. So she should have went in more with that mindset before the fight, instead of going ahead and giving us that demeanor that she was ready to accept defeat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I want to say one more thing about it in terms of mental stuff, right? And I always get on people for getting on Rose, but I'm going to use Rose for an example because some people struggle with the mental health thing more than others, right? So when Rose got slammed on her neck by Jessica, which itself is a form of trauma, okay? You land on your neck, even if you say you're not in pain, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That does something to you, right? So in the post conference, what she was saying, like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I think what it is that sometimes when a person is under some type of mental pressure, they go through this mental trauma. And I think that with Macfarlane, maybe to a lesser extent, though she did get beat up and roughed up in the fight, and maybe Rose to more an extent at the time, when you have those negative thoughts creeping in like that, like you start like, I don't want to say reliving it, but you start connecting with that stuff, like all the negative stuff, all the times you failed, or the time somebody tried to hurt you or abuse you. Like, it's amazing how like our whole life just kind of can flash in a moment, and you could just connect to everything. Maybe you can't remember every little detail, but emotionally, your body, your system. Mm-hmm. So I just think that she kind of was going through it, and she didn't really have a right way that she could have properly processed that out. Like, it would have been better, like, if she had a moment to gather herself before it, and somebody could have been like, hey, it's okay, it's just a fight. You can just tell them, hey, but it's one of the situations. It is what it is. I mean, she said what she said, and that's it.
Right. That was a good point you brought up, though, man, just about Rose. And, like, sometimes I think what it is like whenever so many people say something, you start to think that maybe they know a little more about some particular situation that you're about to be in more than me. You kind of psych yourself out, kind of, accepting what people say. And I think, like you say, whenever you kind of feel that way, you start to kind of play it out for real. And it goes with, like Deontay Wilder always say, speak it and believe it. Well, he's, speak yourself into being a champion. You could speak yourself into being a loser too.
Yeah.
So if you keep thinking that, then you're going to go off and say, well, maybe I am supposed to wind up getting knocked out in this fight. Then your body's in that position to stick your chin out. And then next thing you know, you sleep. So, Yeah, it's something deep, like you were saying, man. It's crazy like that. But we got BJ from No Filter MMA in the house. What's going on, BJ?
BJ.
I see you unmuted your mic. I can't hear you though.
Oh, my bad, bro. I'm in the car driving home from my parents' house, but I'm here. I'm present, man. What's going on with y'all, boy?
Not much, man. Be safe while you on there driving, though, man. Just wanted to know
Oh yeah. Can y'all hear? Is it coming through clear though? Because it's on the car's Bluetooth.
Yeah, it is. It's coming through clear.
Okay. As long as it's coming through clear. What's up?
I just want to get your thoughts on Wmma Macfarlane. You know, where she goes from here, and if you got to see the post-fight interview, what did you kind of take from what she said?
I actually didn't catch the post-fight interview. What did she say that you guys were talking about? I kind of came in on the tail end of what Robert was saying. What did she say exactly?
Well, she was just kind of, the gist of it, she was basically saying that she was kind of relieved now that she experienced the loss. You know, now that she got the experience getting cut in there, getting the nose busted, she kind of felt it like a relief to not have that pressure on her no more. Similar to Rose.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, you know, it's a lot of pressure, man, when you're the champion, bro. You know, when you're the champion, there's a lot of weight on your shoulders. There's a lot of, you know, expectations riding on you, man. And like you said, I think it may have taken her, you know, with that huge threat of Juliana Velasquez, you know what I'm saying? It probably took some weight off her shoulders. I mean, you know, it took her a while to get past that, you know what I'm saying? She knew that Juliana was her biggest threat. So, you know, rounds 4 and 5, it's like Wmma woke up finally. You know what I'm saying? You know, man, I think she fought a good fight, though, man. I think she still fought a hard fight. It's okay for her to be down on herself a little bit, man. I mean, she was a dominant champion. You know what I'm saying? Like, if she's down on herself a little bit, I think it's cool, man. It's cool. Even with Rose, you know what I'm saying? Rose defeated Joanna Jędrzejczyk. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then when Rose lost that belt, she said she felt relieved. You know what I'm saying? And that's cool because it's a lot of pressure, man. And pressure affects people differently. You know what I'm saying? I think Wmma will go lick her wounds. She'll get better. And then I think because Bellator, she's the face of Bellator. So, you know, I'm pretty sure that they'll give her another crack at her belt. One thing about Bellator is Bellator loves their champions. You know what I'm saying? They love their champions. They love the people who represent the company well. And Scott Coker, he knows that the whole state, it's weird to say state because you want to say country because Hawaii is just such its own culture within itself. So I'm going to say, you know, the whole country of Hawaii is behind Wmma Macfarlane. So she'll get the rematch, man. And if she can go in there and fight, if she can start the fight like she fought in round 4 and 5, if she can start the fight like that, you know what I'm saying? And you know, she can defeat Juliana Velasquez, but she's got to do it, man. And I think she'll get the rematch.
Okay. When you brought that up, I got a question for both of y'all. I'm gonna ask you real quick, BJ, since you on here. Do you think it was more so psychological that caused something psychologically in her that just couldn't pull the trigger early, or do you think it was something technical? Do you think she lacked the skill to perform, or do you think it was just the fact that she felt beaten already, that she wasn't able to step on the gas early in the fight?
It wasn't lacking skill. Even what she was doing was doing well. You know what I'm saying? She was lunging in with the shots. You know what I'm saying? And she was landing a lot of those shots. You know what I'm saying? Wmma did her thing in this fight. You know what I'm saying? She fought well in this fight. It's not like she laid down and let Juliana Velasquez beat her up. You know what I'm saying? She fought in this fight. It was more psychological because she was aware of the danger. You're aware of the dangers of your opponent. You know what I'm saying? And she had to see I felt like she had to see if what she was going to do was going to work. You know, and then obviously it wasn't working like she wanted to, so she had to switch it up in the later rounds. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just think people kind of giving her more of a hard time than what they should be, man. You know what I'm saying? She lost the fight. You know, she'll get the rematch. You know, I just feel like she had to overcome that threat of Juliana Velasquez, and time was not on her side this time. So it is what it is.
Well, let me ask you this. At the post-fight, she didn't really mention even about coming back or doing the rematch. What do you think? Does she go straight in for a rematch if she does come back, or should she go back and kind of work maybe with one fight before she does, or what do you think? I think I may have lost BJ again. I'm gonna jump to you, Robert, real quick. What did you think?
I know, I'm here.
Oh, you here?
I'm
Okay.
here.
All right.
I'm here. Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah, I just think maybe just give us some time, man. Let's see what Wmma says in the coming weeks. You know what I'm saying? Like let's kind of give it a minute, let the dust settle a little bit. Let's see what Wmma says in the coming weeks.
Okay. Going by looking at the size difference and the skill set that both of these two fighters brought to the table, real quick, let's say you're in the corner. What do you think she can do differently in the rematch?
You talking me, Robert?
You.
Hello?
Yeah, I was talking to you, BJ.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry, man. My service might get a little spotty. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now you were asking what would you tell, like, what was the question again?
What would you say if she did take the rematch? What would you say she needs to do differently?
I think Wmma should not try and stand at range, because she was playing the range game a little bit with Juliana, you know, and kind of like it was kind of similar to Robert Whitaker versus Israel Adesanya in a way. You know, as far as like if you play that game with somebody as good as a striker as Juliana Velasquez, then you're gonna lose that game every time. You know what I'm saying? Like, she can make it competitive on the feet, but I think what she needs to do is the pressure. Velasquez 4 and 5. She needed that pressure run 1, 2, and 3. She needed that. She needed to pin her up against the cage. She needed to go for the takedowns, grind Juliana Velasquez up against the cage, man. And I feel like once she started doing that, she was doing a good job of it. You know what I'm saying? She just needed that earlier in the fight. So I think that should be the approach. And then maybe flip it around, like do that the first 3 rounds, and then once you done grinded, if you don't get the finish, once you done grinded Juliana Velasquez down, then start coming in throwing those heavy shots. You know what I'm saying? Come in and start throwing them shots, then maybe you'll have a little more success. But Wmma was trying to play with her on the feet while she was fresh. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's where she kind of went wrong in this fight.
What do you think, Robert? Do you think she could do anything different? What do you think she needs to do different in the rematch?
Okay, I'm gonna try to answer both questions, but I'm gonna go in reverse. In terms of the fight, what she could do different, I think on the feet, she was fighting too much off the back foot. That was the first problem, and she just really couldn't close in enough on Juliana fighting that way. She don't have the reach, she don't have the size. She needs to make it a rough fight. I know that's dangerous, but it is what it is. She's going to have to get in the inside. She's going to have to mix some catch her with an elbow, maybe mix in some uppercuts, because a lot of times that's the only way you can get inside. Also, I think she needs to sustain a decent body attack, because while Juliana is a bigger fighter, I'm not saying she had a rough weight cut. I mean, she always kind of paced herself. But for this fight, she was really pacing herself and not really taking too many chances. And it could be because she was worried and threatened by the grappling game of Wmma Macfarlane. I'm not going to say that she was completely ignored or anything like that. I think she was very much aware of that. So she needs to get on the inside. You know, getting up against the cage can help, but only to a certain degree. Like, she needs to figure out, she got to grind it out and catch Juliana. Like, if she could get her tired enough and beat up enough, I think she can actually catch her with her grappling game, like naturally. Like, don't try to force it too much. You know what I'm saying? Like, once something becomes available, just start working it toward the ground. And then once you get it to the ground, she has to really fight I mean, she needs to fight like it's the last 30 seconds of the fight. If it happens in the first or second round, get her on the ground and fight for the position. I'm not saying that she can't submit her on her back, but it don't look likely. She needs to try to get some type of side control or top control, because if not, I just think Juliana is too sophisticated of a grappler.
Strong.
Yeah,
Strong.
she's strong. She's strong, but she also has good technique. She understands it. Like some of them girls, they're either too small or they just not skilled enough for Wmma. But I think you combine the strength with the fact that Juliana does have good technique, and she's not going to overextend herself. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I learned in this fight, that she's probably more patient than you think she is. So she has to be forced to out of position or whatnot. So based on what I saw, I mean, I don't know, maybe I'll look at the fight again, but those are some things I think she could do better. And the second part of the other question about, was it more psychological versus physical? I mean, the skill of Juliana Velasquez, I think it was a little bit of both. But I honestly think the psychological side might have been more, because now this is going to sound a little bit like an excuse, but I'm going to really consider it. You got to factor in that all of these fights that Wmma been having, right, in front of crowds, she had all the momentum going, and then you get this huge layoff. And then to her credit, like a champion, she said, no, I want to take a fight before the year. I want to take a fight, right? I respect that. But I felt like some people don't adjust well to situations like this. And this is your first fight back. I'm not saying I agree with Bojangles that I need to fight in front of crowds. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that this probably wasn't an easy adjustment. And on top of it, you're the champion, and you got to fight an opponent like you've never fought before, in a situation that nobody's ever been in. So that may have factored too. So I'm going to say maybe 60% of it was psychological and the rest of it was skill set, if I had to put a number on it. Those are my thoughts.
I can agree with that. You know, the more and more I just kind of think about it and what she said, if you base off what she said at the post-fight and the performance, I mean, because she did take the chance in rounds 4 and 5, you know what I mean? And like I said, again, it wasn't like she went in there and, you know, got rattled or totally beat up in there. So I think it was just more so self-doubt coming into play early on. And then after that, you know, it was a little too late when she finally got comfortable in there. But, yeah, man, like I said, I don't bash anybody like that, you know, especially somebody that did hold the belt. I feel like they just got to come back stronger, work on some things, and hopefully she can figure out what she wants to do. But moving forward, Saturday night, flyweight fight. Want to get y'all's pick. Go ahead and get your final picks on them. Taylor Santos versus Jillian Robertson. I'm going to start with you, Robert.
Well, my pick has not changed. I think that Santos' all-around game is going to give Jillian Robertson picks. I think she has underrated jiu-jitsu. I think that, I'm not going to say that I don't think Jillian Robertson's wrestling is not going to be a factor, because it is. But she's pretty good on the ground at kind of holding you in place and getting good position on you. But I think Santos is strong, and she's very mobile, and she's very good at reversing positions or switching. Like my thing is this. My problem is not so much would Jillian do good on the ground. I think it could be interesting if it gets on the ground. I just don't know how often it's going to happen, because I think Talia Santos, she's real rangy. She has real good striking. When she's focused, she got real good pacing. I feel the body kicks and the leg kicks are going to be a factor to slow down Jillian Robertson's attacks. And I'm like, when it comes to just striking, I'm telling you, it could get real ugly in this fight. I think Jillian has to just find a way to stick to her like glue. Or she has to time one of those punches and kicks and put her on the ground. And if she has impeccable timing with catching kicks and stuff like that, like if you look at the Oliveira Tony Ferguson fight, like that, and this is a lot to ask because Oliveira he's on a certain level when it comes to this, but he was catching Tony's kicks with his elbows, and then he also would catch them. You know how Adesanya will hook around and catch Costa's, kicks, whatever. He would do that, or he would catch him with his elbows, and then every time he catch him, he would rush Tony to the cage and drop down. And when it went to the ground, it wasn't that, when I looked at the fight again, it wasn't that Tony wasn't doing anything good, especially late in the fight. He was doing some great jobs at defending submissions, but he was just up against a far superior grappler than he was. That's all it was. But anyway, so my pick is still Santos. I think Santos is going to win this fight. She may stop Jillian Robinson. My only thing is, will Jillian Robinson get stopped? But I see Santos winning this at least by unanimous decision. That's my final thoughts on it.
All right, sounds good. Robert Henry, got Taylor Santos.
Hello?
Yeah, I was on mute.
Yeah, we here.
Okay, things got so quiet.
I was just trying to let it lay out a little, play out just so
I can't hear combo.
Hold on. Yeah, I was just letting it play out a little bit. I didn't want to talk over you, so.
Okay, but go ahead, BJ, or whoever,
Oh, is it my turn?
Yes, sir.
Yep, it is.
Yes, sir. So, for me, my pick hasn't changed. You know what I'm saying? I mean, all respect to Robert, but I totally disagree with that. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that, if you dig into Taylor Santos's record, you guys, I'm Stamina, we've talked about this before. I'm having trouble with the whole, Santos is, just as good as Jillian Robertson. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm having trouble with that, man, because Talia Santos has yet to face the level of competition that Jillian Robertson has faced. You know what I'm saying? Like, she has yet to face that level of competition. Like, it's like, look at the girls who Taylor Santos built that 16-1 record off of. You know what I'm saying? Like, if Jillian Robertson was fed the type of people that Taylor Santos was being fed, no, Jillian Robertson was fighting Cynthia Calvillo on the regional scene. You know what I'm saying? She was fighting good girls on the regional scene. You know what I'm saying? And coming up through the tough house. Look at Jillian Robertson's journey to her 6-2 record in the UFC. You know what I'm saying? Like, she for me, and the Jillian Robertson is excellent at ducking under somebody who throws a sloppy punch, who throws a wild punch. She's good at ducking under that and taking them down. You know what I'm saying? So Taylor Santos is going to have to be careful not to try to overdo herself, not to try to chase the finish on Jillian Robertson, because girls go into fights with Jillian Robertson and think that all they have to do is punch her to death and she's going to go down. You know what I'm saying? Look at who punched Jillian Robertson down. It was Macy Barber. Macy Barber can put any flyweight out. You know what I'm saying? Courtney Casey thought she was going to go in here and punch Jillian Robertson out. And look what happened to Courtney Casey. She got completely dominated. Poliana Botelho thought she was going to go in here and punch Jillian Robertson out, and she got dominated. You know what I'm saying? So what I don't get is, is Taylor Santos lost to the girl that Jillian Robertson savagely finished. But you guys, Taylor Santos beat the girl that Jillian Robertson savagely finished, and she lost to one of the worst, who arguably the worst flyweight in the entire, that's ever been in the UFC. You know what I'm saying? So, but all of a sudden, Taylor Santos is going to beat Jillian Robertson. And I'm just like, wow, the UFC experience that Jillian has had, the losses, the wins that Jillian has had, and she hasn't elevated and learned anything? And you guys think that somebody who's 1-1 in the UFC, and that loss is to somebody who is the worst flyweight who's ever been in the UFC, and you guys think that she's going to beat Jillian Robertson? I just have a hard time understanding that.
I think it comes down to not necessarily looking at the resume in this case. I think it's coming down to.
But you got to look at the resume. You got to look at the resume when we're discussing every other flyweight matchup in the division. We rely on resumes to back up our point. We can't take resumes out of the picture in this situation.
I think it really comes down to the fact that some people.
Go ahead and keep talking, fellas. I may lose service for a minute, but go ahead and keep talking.
Okay, yeah. Some fans are, even some analysts, they're just seeing that Taylor Santos has something that might expose a certain weakness in her. The same way, maybe not the same way Macy Barber did with the power, but if you look at the all-around better stand-up, you got to give that to Taylor Santos. You know, maybe if she just sticks to that game, which is all she has to do, she could actually do something that some of these other fighters weren't able to do.
But Macy Barber is the only person whose stand-up has been a problem for Jillian Robertson.
So far. You know.
So far. Yes, so far.
And looking back at that fight with Macy Barber, I feel like Macy Barber didn't really do anything like spectacular on the feet. It was more so just her upper body. You know, it was that pace that she was able to push with her upper body using that right hand. But I feel like Taylor Santos is going to commit to more movement, and that's going to be another level that might give Jillian Robertson trouble. Like I said, Jillian's good on the ground, but I'm just saying, like, on the feet, she might show another level of striking that she's needs to work on. Similar to Wmma and Mackenzie Dern this past weekend. Like, Mackenzie Dern worked on a lot of basics in striking, but there was something new to the table that Wmma brought into that fight that Mackenzie Dern wasn't used to. Like, Mackenzie Dern wasn't really used to timing. She wasn't used to moving her head against a mobile fighter the way Wmma was fighting on the back foot. And I'm thinking that Taylor Santos might bring that type of problem in there for Jillian Robertson Saturday.
I really wanted to see KGB versus Jillian, though. I really wanted to see that.
Yeah, that was a fight I wanted to see. Yeah, I wanted to see that, and I wanted to see Montana and Taylor. I wanted to see both of those fights happen first. But, I mean, this one here, I think it's probably going to be the better matchup because I feel like these were the winners of those two fights regardless. What fashion was she going to win? I didn't hear you, BJ.
Oh, she's going to finish Taylor, man. She's going to finish her. Jillian's going to finish her on the ground, bro. Second round stop. I'm going for a second round stoppage, bro. It's over.
I'm looking forward to that then, because if Jillian Robertson I'm not saying that she hasn't improved at all. I mean, because there is something to be said for recognition patterns and ability to basically beat fighters that you have an advantage against. Like, I never was a Courtney Casey fan. I'm not saying that her fights wasn't pleasant to watch, because strikers tend to be more showy, but at the end of the day, I have a feeling that this is going to be a tough matchup for Robinson. She may pull it off. But I honestly think that if she's really trying to level up, then she should go in there. This is not an equal comparison, but if she's really the better fighter according to resume, and I don't mean resume in terms of just she has a better resume, but like she's expanding, she's getting better, then she should be able to, at some point find a way to beat Santos in this match. Either finish her late without dominating so much and just finally figure out the patterns and figure out how to catch her, or at least take 2 rounds relatively easy, because that's the only way I see her winning. I don't see her winning this fight by split decision, but anything can happen.
Yeah, I'm definitely.
Man, I just feel like, man, what is that noise?
I don't know. It ain't me.
I'm cooking.
Oh, you're cooking.
You talking about the blinking noise? Yeah.
Oh, he's cooking.
I'm putting something in the oven right now. Yeah, it's over. Okay. I had to slide something in the oven. That's all.
My bad. I just feel like, guys, I do, man. I just feel like Jillian Robertson, her style is just so unappreciated, man. It's so unappreciated. For me, that style, man, is my favorite. You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess it's just me. Like, that's my favorite style.
No,
you know, and some people,
look,
you guys are mostly fans.
I will say this. Look, I'm a fan of her style. I appreciate it, but I'm kind of a harsh critic. Like, when I'm looking at these fighters from the corner, like, I pretend I'm from the corner, I'm saying, man, she's got something, but I want to see those improvements added to it, if that makes sense. Like, she has a style that's very, it's a force to be reckoned with on the level she's on, but to get to that next level, I just want to see more art. I want to see more tools in there. You know what I mean?
You just need to level up a little bit more with it, you know?
I hear you, man.
Yeah, because, like, I have nothing against Jillian Robertson's style. I just feel like there's certain things that's gonna upset her path up this road. You know, I think she still got it.
Robert, you gotta mute your mic, man, when you ain't talking, bro. You gotta mute your mic, bro.
What, you heard me open the oven again? I'm bad.
Yeah, mute that for a second, bro.
We hear a lot of pots and pans clanking around and stuff, bro.
Okay.
Hold on, I'll let me mute that real quick.
Hold on.
All right. Yeah, I was saying I appreciate Jillian Robertson for what she brings to the table and the level she's on, but I just feel like there's gonna come a point where she's gonna run into certain styles, like Taylor Santos might have certain things that's gonna upset that.
But that can be said for every style, though. That can be said for every style. You know, strikers are gonna run into people who are gonna take them down. You can say that for every single style.
But I mean,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
were we talking about her in particular? Which that's why I'm saying, like, if you saying like certain people aren't appreciating her, maybe some people feel like, no, she got to work on the hands to get here. Or just like if she was a striker, the opposite. No, she got to work on her takedown defense. No, she got to work on her grappling. You know? So yeah, it can be said about every fighter, but I mean, you start putting that doubt out the door whenever you're in the top 5 more so, or in the top 3, or if you got the belt. You know, whenever you get that belt, or if you number 1 contender, then you could say, oh man, this fighter might just have to work on 1 or 2 things. But for somebody on the lower level, like number 12, number 13, there's a few things they got to work on, you know?
Yeah. We'll see, man. I'm telling you, man, you guys are going to see Jillian Robertson you guys are going to see her, man, and you guys are going to see what I see one day, bro. I'm just waiting on it to happen. I'm not saying you guys won't ever. I'm not saying you guys don't see anything in her now, man. But as relentless as Jillian Robertson is, man, I mean, she's a real threat to that division, man. You know, she's a real threat to that entire division, bro. Being able to take girls down like that, man, and dominate girls. Like, we have yet to see Jillian Robertson be out-grappled. You know what I'm saying? Like, Maida Bueno Silva submitted her, but it was a quick submission. It was a scramble that went wrong. It wasn't something that she worked towards to get on Jillian Robertson. You know what I'm saying? But, like, I mean, it's hard for me to see. Just being based on what I've seen of Jillian Robertson, man, how she works girls on the ground. You know what I'm saying? It's just hard for me to see her losing to a lot of those girls in the top 10, man. It's just hard for me to see her losing to a lot of them when I see that kind of style, bro.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to be fair and say she'll give 6 through 10 problems, or whatever number she is, 6 through on to what Jillian Robertson's number. I think she'll give them problems, but top 5 is really going to be hard. I think it's really going to be hard. Like, I think Jillian could do some things with Jessica I or JoJo, and you know I love JoJo, but see, I'm being honest. See, you know, JoJo, I'm going to go for her, but I feel like Jillian got something in there that could upset these fighters. You know, everybody from 6 on down. But, you know, when you get to that top 5, that's where I want to see some different things being done. I want to see some improvements on how the takedowns come. You know, if you can't get them where you got them.
The hardest fights that I see for Jillian Robertson, like the only fight that she's had so far in the UFC that made me be like, ooh, was the Macy Barber fight. Mm-hmm. When I saw that, I was pumped for it, but I was like, ooh, Jillian can lose this fight. When you move up into those top 5 rankings, the only people that I really see is like, ooh, opponents for Jillian Robertson, for one is Roxanne Modafferi, because Roxanne is good on the ground. No matter how people talk shit about Roxy is good on the fucking ground. You know what I'm saying? I think that fight would take place on the ground, and it would just be who's better. I see Jennifer Maya giving Jillian Robertson problems. I see Lauren Murphy giving Jillian Robertson problems, and I see Caitlin Chukagian giving other than Jessica Andrade, and I see Caitlin Chukagian giving Jillian Robertson problems. I see those fighters and Jessica Andrade as well. Those fighters give Jillian Robertson problems. But my thing about Jillian is when she gets to those type of fights, I feel she'll be ready for them, man.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like she'll be ready when she gets to those fights. But those are the fights that I could honestly see Jillian Robertson losing.
Yeah.
I could see her losing those fights.
Yeah, everybody you named was exactly who I was talking about. That's why I said 6 through 10, she could probably go back in there and give work to at some point. But like everybody you named, that was top 5. Like I said, man, like yeah, Caitlin, the physical strong fighter, like Murphy, the little bull like Andrade, yeah, definitely. Like Cynthia Calvillo, she does hold that win over, but I want to see. I think Cynthia Calvillo versus Jillian would be more competitive now. I'm not gonna lie. I think that would be
sure.
Out of that top 5, that would be the more competitive one, even though she has a win over Jillian. I'm not gonna lie, yeah, that would be interesting now. That would be interesting. But so yeah,
I
got y'all's picks on that. Almost forgot. Kayla Harrison versus Josette Cotton 2. Shout out to Josette. I just dropped the interview with her today. Who do y'all got for that rematch?
Yeah, I saw that.
Hello?
Yes, Brother Robert.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna do a breakdown that I'm gonna put up, but I was rewatching the fight. I rewatched the fight a couple times last night, and I really think that Josette can win this fight, despite the fact that that Kayla Harrison probably is the better, like her ability on the ground, her shifting, like she moves very well for her size. In your interview, and I'm still talking about the fight. In your interview, I know that Josette was saying that she was in there basically with one leg, and I did notice that she had some leg troubles. It doesn't matter. I mean, she took the fight, and this is a whole totally different fight, but that may factor in. But one thing that I was noticing about Josette Cotton, her stance, it just seemed like the way she was standing in that fight was tailor-made for Kayla Harrison. Like, once she got to the ground, she was able to like actually, defend at certain points in the fight. But it was like she couldn't really stop Kayla from getting her down. And Kayla was getting her down kind of quick once Kayla would go for it. I mean, the striking of Kayla Harrison, now it probably looks better than that now, but it was real stiff. It was real Bride of Frankenstein stiff in that fight. But, I guess she held her own to some extent, long enough to be able to get Josette Cotton down. But anyway, getting to my point, though, I think she's going to have to work on that stance. She's going to have to come in there tip-top, prepared, in shape, ready for this fight, because honestly, I think she did okay, considering the fact that Kayla was really, raining the punches down. I agree with her that they stopped the fight too soon. I just think she needs a lot of lateral movement. She needs to throw Kayla off. She needs to make it hard for Kayla to get a solid grasp on. So I think she can win. She's going to have to keep it standing for majority.
Oh, hang on.
Nations together, she can win. Hello?
Yeah, you almost like disconnected, but you back.
Yeah. But that's my thoughts. I'm going with Josette Cotton, and I only see Josette winning this fight via stoppage, whether it's technical or whether it's a flat-out KO. That's the only way she's going to win this fight. But I'm giving her the edge. I'm going 60-40 head buster.
One head buster. All right. BJ, what about you, man?
I'm going to have to be honest, man. I mean, I know y'all like Josette, but Kayla Harrison's going to win this fight. I mean, Kayla Harrison's gonna win this fight. She's too big. She's too technical. She's too strong. You know what I'm saying? She's gonna win this fight. I want to see Kayla. If Kayla, look, listen. The biggest question was, can Kayla make 145? We've seen that Kayla can make 145. If Kayla gonna keep talking, Kayla needs to be fighting the best featherweights in the world. That's when we're gonna see. That's when we're gonna see competition for Kayla Harrison. You know what I'm saying? That's when we're gonna see competitive fights for her. Is when she's fighting some of the top featherweights of the world. Like if she goes in there and fights Caitlin Young, if she goes back to Invicta or takes a big fight in Invicta, because whatever they're gonna feed her at PFL, it's just not gonna be at any level that we're gonna see a competitive fight. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I want to see Kayla Harrison tested like Lima Lay was tested. You know what I'm saying? Lima Lay got tested, and we've seen what happened. Let's see Kayla Harrison get tested. Let's see her fight Caitlin Young. Let's see her fight Pam Sorensen. You know what I'm saying? Let's see her fight, Chelsea Chandler. Let's see her fight Kat Zingano. Let's see her, Julia Budd. I want to see her fight real featherweight. I mean, I just as far as any of these girls, man, she gonna beat Josette, man. She gonna beat the majority of these other girls too. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this PFL competition and this Titan FC competition, man, it's not gonna do it. Kayla Harrison is good. She's a good fighter, and what she lacks in skill, she makes it up in size and strength and athleticism. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I want to see her fight Felicia Spencer. I want to see her fight Leah Letson. I want to see her fight, Elizabeth Phillips, a real featherweight. I want to see it happen. And then, but this fight right here, man, I mean, I like Josette Cotton, but she's going to lose this fight. She's going to lose to Kayla Harrison again.
Yeah, I was looking at what Cole said. Cole said y'all hate Kayla so much on this channel. I'm like, nah, I don't waste my time hating people, man. I don't do that.
I mean, look, I don't particularly care for her personality. I don't like her. I mean, I don't like not see anything I can't connect with her with, but I just don't like the way that she rolls. I don't like how she carries it. And I agree with BJ 120%. She needs to step it up. You can't keep calling. Again, I think this is a dangerous fight, in my opinion, right? But you can't keep calling out all this proven competition, and then when it comes down to it, and they're like, all right, let's do it. Then you run back in your little cubby hole like, nah, I gotta fight this person, or nah, I'm gonna fight this person that I already beat. Again, it's a great opportunity for Josette Cotton because unfortunately, whether it be politics, the problem with big girls, the problem with certain girls not getting picked to fight, all types of stuff, she doesn't really get a lot of opportunities that she should get. But at the end of the day, we were supposed to see Kayla Harrison, move up. Like my thing is, why would you come out of quarantine and you're whining and you're complaining and all this? I'm like, well, everybody is stepping up. Everybody's taking tough fights or relatively rough fights, and you're dancing around. You're dancing around and you're using this excuse that it's money. That's why they don't want to fight me or something like that. No, the reason why people don't want to fight you is because you act like you really don't want to fight the level competition that you're calling out. That's what it is,
Yeah, I feel like, look, she's a growing fighter. I don't take anything away from the skill sets that she shows, but I think she's just speaking too highly of herself whenever the skill's not there. When you start to bite off more than you can chew, then that's whenever these other fighters like Cyborg, Nunes, they'll kind of bite back, because Cyborg straight up called her out on one of her interviews in the comment section. She's been calling her out now, so you kind of put yourself in that position before your skill set even got there. But like, do I think she's graduating and developing? Yeah, I definitely think Kayla Harrison is, but the opponents, they're not there. I got to look at resume too. I just can't look at skill. I got to look at resume. I got to see who you beat, what level you graduated from. And just like this situation here, Kayla is saying that there's nobody to fight. there's no opponents for her. But you know, there's perfectly solid competition in Invicta. There's competition in Bellator. But instead, like, of course, there's no knock to Josette. You kind of backtrack and you fight somebody on a level you already graduated from, right? Somebody you beat 2 years ago. You should be somewhere invading Bellator rankings right now. You know, I think that's just why a lot of people are giving her flack on that, because she's not advancing. She's not her actions are not catching up with the words. You know, that's how I feel. You know, that's just for the chat. You know, some people, like I said, saying we hating. I'm not hating. I'm just saying, look, if you're not showing me anything, then yeah, you might hear me talking a different tone about this person. But if you come in, if you kicking ass and taking names, I'm not saying anything. If you can prove me, look, if you do something right and prove me wrong, hey, that's cool.
Oh God, Robert Henry.
Oh, shut up, man. Keep doing what you're doing. Ain't nobody tell you, hey, look, I'm not counting the miles you were driving or hearing whatever music
he was
listening
on
in the background.
Sound like he was in a chopper or something. He was flying somewhere.
Who, me?
Yeah, he just ain't telling nobody, but he on like an actual jet going somewhere. He doing something.
I'm on a mission, Combo. No, you know what it is? When you got audio, it's funny how something can sound like something it don't even sound like it. Like I just move a dish and it sounds like the world ended to y'all. I don't know.
Yeah, it really does.
It do, man. A dish sound like a damn avalanche through our ears right here, bro.
Yeah, but look, all I was gonna say,
man,
go ahead.
But I really think that Lord of mercy. I really think that. And TJ made a comment in the comments. I just went and scrolled through the comment section. TJ made a comment that said there's no value added conversing with these two. But yet and still, TJ, you continue to listen to everything that comes out of our mouth. If there's no value in what we say, then why are you always in the comment section?
Hold on, he talking to somebody in the comment section.
Oh, I was about to say, TJ, I'm about to go in on your head, boy. I'm about to go in on your head.
Yeah, he was going. He was talking about two guys in the comment section. I think they they having a disagreement.
But I feel like I feel like the competitive fight. I feel like Kayla Harrison, man. Like, she ain't gonna take no loss until she fights somebody, man. You know, she ain't gonna take no loss. It's got to be somebody that's like, if it's somebody that's unknown, it's got to be a damn savage. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you know, if she was to fight the Felicia Spencers or somebody like that, you know, I think that's somebody that can serve Kayla Harrison a loss.
Okay.
You know, Julia Budd, Caitlin Young, Pam Sorensen. Because she ain't just going to dominate Pam like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? But my thing with Kayla Harrison is, if you're as good as you say, if you're good enough to be calling out Chris Cyborg, that's my thing. If you're good enough to be calling out Chris Cyborg, then you should be good. If you're just promotion, you should be calling out the champion.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there should be no other name out of your mouth but the champion. She should have been saying, I want to go to Invicta. Okay, you're going to give me a chance to fight? I'm going to fight your champion. Where the fuck is Pam Sorensen? You know what I'm saying? That's what she should have been saying. That's what Kayla Harrison that's what should have been coming out of Kayla Harrison's mouth. Where the fuck is Pam Sorensen? You know what I'm saying? And then take that fight. Go beat Pam and become the Invicta and the PFL champion. And Kayla, go make history and be the first women's MMA fighter to hold 2 belts simultaneously in 2 different promotions. Be a fucking savage. But you go and fight Courtney King. How if Kayla Harrison would have done that, I would have put some fucking respect on Kayla Harrison's name. I would have told y'all need to put some respect on Kayla Harrison's name. If she'd have went and called out Pam and Shannon Knapp made that fight and she went in there and beat Pam, I'm like, all right, we got to put some kind of respect on Kayla Harrison's name. She just went in here and beat Pam Sorensen, y'all. You know what I'm saying? But,
yeah.
I mean, when I found out she was fighting a bum, I'm like, oh, she's fighting a bum. That's a letdown. She's not fighting one of the good girls over there in Invicta. She's fighting Courtney King. Oh, okay. So, I mean, there's really no value to her doing, like, nobody is talking about Kayla Harrison going over to Invicta and fighting and PFL letting her do that. Nobody's even talking about that because she fought nobody.
No, but look.
Like, nobody. Go ahead.
No, but look, I mean, just to piggyback off of what you just said, BJ, the only reason that Kayla Harrison can run this game combo is because, with the exception of a Chris Cyborg and an Amanda Nunes, all for the most part, I mean, not the diehard fans, we know who these people are, right? We even know lesser names, right? Like Josette Cotton and these other people who don't really have big names, right? But to the average casual fan and to the average, combat fan who they don't really follow anything, they just kind of got into the sport. They wouldn't even know who Pam Bam Sorensen was. They wouldn't know who none of these people are. I mean, it's hard enough for me to keep up with some of these featherweights and lightweights because they don't get no traction. They don't get attention. So she's more known than those people. So the average person is thinking that, Kayla ain't scared of him. Why didn't they sign the contract? They don't see the politics and the BS behind it. Or how Kayla is trying to stealthily go around them and get away with not really going after them. Because I'm telling you, what Kayla Harrison is going to do, if she don't take a fade, she don't take a real fight real soon, the first person that she fight, where it's a legitimate challenge and everybody sees it's going to be a challenge for her, she going to make that person famous.
Yeah.
Because they going to knock her ass out. Pardon my language.
I mean, yeah, that's real because who knows? Like, look, Josette, she's got a lot to gain off of this fight if she pull off an upset. She does like Shanna Dobson did to Maria Agapova, even on that level. Y'all remember how she did? She came in there, she was the underdog, and she won a lot of people some money too. Shanna Dobson did win a lot of people money. Hey, I think that's the same mind frame that Cotton has to kind of go into this fight, because Kayla Harrison got a lot to lose if she do wind up, losing to Josette in this rematch.
Yes, she does.
Yep, you're right.
But yeah, man. Before we close out, before I get up out of here, last fight, who do y'all got, Sarge or Panty?
Sarge, did y'all already talk about that fight, man? I want to talk about that fight.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
You go ahead,
I was talking about it with Cedric when he was on, but I was just waiting for y'all to come on. So go ahead, man.
Oh man, I got Panty winning this fight, man. I got Panty. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like for one, Panty has really good takedown defense. She's getting, and Panty is somebody that we see coming from the bottom. You know what I'm saying? Like, Panty was on the verge of being cut. Panty got cut, and then Panty came back. You know what I'm saying? So, but the thing about Panty Kianzad, man, like, if Sarge Eubanks is wants to stand and bang with Panty Kianzad, for one, Panty is much bigger than Sarge. You know what I'm saying? And Panty got good, decent, solid striking. And Panty's starting to sit down on some shots. Because when Panty fought Betch Coher, she was piecing Betch ass up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I'm not counting Panty out, man. I'm really not.
Who do you got, Robert?
I'm rolling with Sarge, but I'm going to have to be honest. I'm going to have to look at it again because right now I got it 50-50 because Panty is very quick. He's very fast. She has good striking. The problem with Sarge is that she pot shots a lot and she likes to throw just a few couple of punches. Now, if she connects, she could probably hurt her, but I think what she needs to do, and I hope it works, in her last fight against Caitlin, she was working the body a lot, and I agree with Coach that it didn't seem like they were scoring the body shots as much, but maybe if she targets the body a little bit more, because again, she's giving up the size and she's giving up the speed, maybe she'd be able to wear her down. But I think at some point she got to get it to the ground. She either just had to get it against the ground, or maybe she can work her against the cage in a clinch, which again, I don't think that's going to be easy. But she can't fight her. I don't think she's going to win this fight in open space unless she just really catches her or wear her down. So my early pick is still going to be Sarge, but I think in order for Sarge to win this fight, she's going to need either a stoppage or she needs to dominate on the ground.
Okay. Yeah, my early pick, just looking at it for this one, I'm kind of leaning towards Panty myself, just because after seeing her compete even at featherweight, and just the fact that she stays busy. Like, I like Sarge, but sometimes Sarge don't commit enough in these fights, man. Like, one day she'll look good against, somebody like Julia Avila, and then after that, she kind of lets up in a Ketlin Varia fight, when she has the ingredients the keys to beat some of these fighters. I mean, she got a chin like nobody in the bantamweight division. Sarge got a chin of stone, and she got nice boxing skill too, but she just don't let the hands go enough. Like, she could be that complete fighter. It's just some of the things, like I say, leveling up is what's kind of holding her back. But Panty, she just got hands. I feel like she's ready to brawl.
Yeah, Panty got hands. Panty got hands.
Yeah, like even like before that Betch fight, like some of these other fighters, like I remember Macy Chason, she was catching her with some good punches before she got submitted. And I think that's what's going to be the problem in this fight. I think not only does Panty have hands, but she got pop on the shot too, and that might make Sarge a little honest. That'll keep her honest on the outside, where Panty can just kind of do whatever she wants for like maybe 2 rounds before Sarge maybe catches up in the third. But I think it'll be competitive. But right now, just off of experience and activity, I'm gonna go with Panty, man. And hold on, Salmon has said in the chat, he says Sarge has the power and durability advantage on the feet. Yeah, she got the power, but she gotta let it go. Panty has the speed and technique advantage. He says a toss up. Yeah, I mean, one more you look at it.
Yeah, Panty can fight, man.
Mm-hmm. TJ got a fun.
Sure.
Hey, TJ got a fun fact. Do y'all want to hear his fun fact? Should I take the bait or not?
Uh-oh.
All right, he said, fun fact from TJ: bet against BJ, you'll always win. This dude great.
Who said that? Who?
TJ.
Who?
Oh yeah. See, name don't even name don't even ring a bell. See, I don't know.
I don't know who that is.
All right, y'all, but
must be a nobody.
All right, y'all, but man, it's been fun having y'all on again. Just to kind of chat. But anything y'all want to say in closing thoughts before we wrap this up?
No, man, I'm just ready for this weekend, bro. I've been planning on doing a podcast the last few days, man. Just ain't had a chance to actually do it, but I'm gonna get on and wrap. It's time. My girl is fighting, and what I wanted to say to you, Combo, before we get off here, bro. I think the MMA gods are gonna bless us with De La Rosa versus Maverick, because that's the fight to make, man. Like, I was just thinking about that today. Like, that's the fight. That's the fight to make. That's the fight. Montana De La Rosa versus Miranda Maverick. And I think we about to get blessed with that, because they're gonna try to push. She got that finish over Liana Jojua. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna try to push Maverick, into the rankings. And if she can knock off Montana, they seeing Montana as an easy picking.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, that's the fight, bro. That's the fight to make.
Hey, look, if they do, you know the deal. We gonna be going back and forth on that, because you know who I got.
You already know. You already know.
For sure, man. But yeah, B, definitely go subscribe to BJ No Filter MMA. But yeah, man, I will catch up with you later, bro.
All right, man. I'm out. Peace.
All right.
Peace.
And Sir Robert Henry, what you got to say, man? Any closing thoughts, bro?
Yeah, actually in a little different direction. So, I was doing the math, right? And I think after was it on the 19th? After this fight card, like it's gonna be like 28 days before there's another UFC fight card, and that's why I was trying to figure out, with the exception of Kayla Harrison fight. Well, that happened before, but I think 17th. But like, it's just gonna be a dead zone, man. And I felt that we missed so many fights this year that, and this has been one of those years like it's never been a year. You know, this is something different.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, there's probably been worse plays and stuff that happened, but this is the worst type of outbreak in a very modern, very contemporary world and the way that we live and whatnot, especially in the West. So I just feel that I gotta find a way to stay busy with I mean, it's not the only thing I do, but like in reference to women fighting and just MMA in general, because like that gap, like I started my channel in August, and then, you know, before that, you know, live streamed and all this stuff, and it's been so entertaining despite all the crap that's been going on. Like, I feel like there's a lot of bad moves that's been made with WMMA in particular, and I feel like even if this didn't happen, it still would have been one of those years where there's a possibility where we didn't necessarily get the fight that we want to see or as many fights. So I just hope going ahead in the next year that we get better and more fights, not just in the UFC, but across the board. Like Bellator needs to step up. Like you got that championship fight. I mean, can you even remember another women's championship fight? Okay, Cyborg. Okay, Cyborg had one, and then Alima Lay had hers. But I'm like, I just feel like I don't know what people got to do, maybe to push for more demand, but I really feel that WMMA as a whole needs to step up. And it's not always on the fighters, but the fighters need to do what they can. So I was gonna say something else, but I'll just leave it at that. And I'm gonna have me a nice little dinner and chill out, man. Enjoy the rest of the night.
All right, sound good. And make sure y'all subscribe to Savage WMMA Fan. When your next podcast episode, maybe you can do a podcast episode talking about that, man, because that's a good point about just like the direction the sport need to go. I mean, on the underground level, you know, we know it, but like the mainstream, I think they kind of get lost with it.
Well, I didn't. Okay. So for Thanksgiving, I didn't do one, and then the week afterwards, I didn't do one. I just felt like I just want to go ahead, take a break, and reset. But I should have something this Friday because it's something that I really enjoy doing, and you and some other people being an inspiration on that. So I definitely should have something Friday. I usually post them 8 o'clock, somewhere between 7 and 8 o'clock. So I should have a podcast this week.
All right, sound good, man. We'll be looking out for it. But yeah, man. I'll catch up with you, man. Other than that, enjoy your dinner, man.
All right, man. Peace.
Later. All right, y'all. Hold on. Let me see. I was just reading the chat here. Brother, man, what's going on? He said, did you see that WMMA Addict upcoming video title on WMMA is dead? Huh? WMMA is dead? No, I didn't see that. That's an interesting title right there. I mean, on our level, of course, we keep it alive, but that's kind of an interesting take on WMMA. WMMA is dead, huh? Shout out to the Addict, you know, very informative guy, man. I like his stuff. Stamina. De La Rosa should feel disrespected if they ever offer her Maverick, to be honest. I know what you mean. Yeah, I know what you mean, because they're going to try to use her as a stepping stone for Maverick. I got you. Yeah, definitely. But it's probably coming, man. It's probably coming in 2021. I could definitely see that happening, man. But yeah, y'all, I got to go eat something, man. I'm about to get up out of here. I'll probably see y'all maybe this weekend. Might get up on here like Friday or something, and just chop it up. If anything else big is going on, I know there's a card December 31st, man, like on New Year's Eve. It's the Rising 26 card. Dang, on New Year's Eve. I don't know if a lot of people gonna catch that. It might be an early morning card. It's like in Japan, I think. And to top it off, TJ gonna say Weili wins. All right. I mean, I can't not see that happening. I mean, Weili's just like on another level right now. But yeah, y'all, I'm about to get up out of here. Just make sure y'all subscribe. And if y'all hadn't seen the interview with Josette, y'all can check that out. Hear her take on this upcoming rematch. I'm about to go eat. I'll see y'all Friday. Peace.